All right. Okay. This is going to be a goals I have for 2019. Hello, body odor sufferers. Um, Essentially, I'm just going to just talk about two different topics today for 2019. It's a new year, so there's a new set of things I want to accomplish within this year. If I can talk about two different topics that I'm going to really talk about, I'm going to talk about goals I have set or ideas I have set for this channel, and then I have just goals I have, personal goals I have set just for my life. I'm just gonna go over just like the things, ideas I have within the channel, and I actually wrote some stuff down here. Um, there's like just a couple of different categories I have. One of them has to do with topics. Another one has to do with like articles. Third one has to do with discussion, and the fourth one has to do with just other things I had on my mind, which I think will make the channel be more interesting, because majority of the stuff I have at the moment is just me talking about how shitty my life is. And the second one is having topics. And with the topics, speaking of topics, I had a number of topics I always had in my head, and I never wrote them down. So I spent some time just trying to think of all the ones I remember that I thought were pretty good, and I think I'm gonna start listing them out like on the video. Is this shit still running? Hopefully it's still running. Any case, so for a couple of topics, hopefully this thing runs, because if it doesn't run, I don't want to do this all over again. But some of the topics I have is like, the first one is like, have you ever walked off a job? Another one is, why can't doctors and family members smell us? Another topic is like, how do you cope? And is T-Mal a blessing? And another one I really wanted to get into was like fake smiling. So there's like, how much do I have? So much. I probably have more than 10 topics that I've written out for like, I just sat down for like 5 to 10 minutes and just written them out. And hopefully I have them up so you can see all the ones I have at the moment. And then like the next topic or the next section goes into articles. I feel like I should in the next in this channel, I should start sharing more articles. Some of the articles I think would be very interesting that I feel like is somewhat close to people who have TMAL or body odor conditions is like loneliness. Because I don't know if you're lonely, but shit, I'm lonely. And I think sharing like scientific articles about loneliness, and I talked about it a little bit, but there's a lot of information about loneliness and how it's supposedly detrimental to your health, and I would love to like show these articles and drop links so people want to read them themselves, they can see that. I also want to read or show articles about like happiness and depression, and any articles that's related to like PATM or TMAL or other things that are probably related to like body odor conditions. I know another thing is a lot of people, not, I don't know if a lot, but people who have this condition have financial problems, and maybe some of them get evicted or go homeless. So maybe I would like to share some articles about homelessness. And I really had this idea in my head about online jobs. Is this thing still recording? Please be recording. God damn it. If this shit ain't recording. Okay, it is recording. Cool. So what was I saying? Yeah, about online jobs. So a lot of people can't go into the workforce at all simply because of the comments or discrimination, or they just can't really deal with people at all. And there are a couple of different websites specifically for work at home jobs, but most of these work at home jobs suck, and there's only like a couple of jobs that are really good, and I'm assuming they're really hard to get into. So it'd be great if I start highlighting like the really good jobs and then dropping links, so if people do want to get these jobs, they know where to go. They know like the platform where they post these types of jobs, stuff like that. Another thing I want to do is start really looking into these like different options to make money online. Talked about it a little bit Obviously, YouTube is a way to make money online. Obviously, eBay, Etsy. I already talked about Twitch, but like I want to share articles about how to make money through these social platforms, and also like the pros and cons, because there's always pros and cons to different these different avenues to make money, and how hard is it to really make money, how long would it take. I think it would be really cool if I could like bring people on to these people, bring people on who have like tried to make, I don't know, like eBay or one of these social platforms a career choice to make money, and give them an opportunity to explain all the pitfalls, the pros and cons, and how long it took for them to generate money. I think that'd be pretty good. A third thing I really wanted to do within my channel is discussion. Anything had to do with discussion. I really wanted to do. I really had this idea to interview people who have TMAO or PATM or any type of body odor conditions similar to that. People who have bad breath. I never really hear too many people talk about like people who have chronic bad breath, so on and so forth. I think that would be really good to do. So I want to bring them on and just allow them to just give like an hour or something like that, an hour for them just to talk about their life. I'm going to ask them like general questions and just let them talk about like the beginning, the origin story, when it first all began, and so on and so forth. And I think that'll be pretty cool to do. Another thing I wanted to do is, which I just thought like recently, is I always have like topics in my head of what I think, at least I think about, and it'd be pretty cool to try to bring other people on and allow them to talk about answer one of the topics I had in my head. Like, for example, I recently made like a video about are we ever going to be lonely for the rest of our lives? It'd be great to have somebody who have like a couple of people try to answer that and discuss if they feel like they're ever going to be lonely, or if they are lonely, and so on and so forth. So I think that'd be pretty fucking cool too. Another thing is, in terms of discussion, I had this idea in my head, just like I wanted to interview people that talked about their life story. I also wanted to get people to come on and talk about how they controlled their condition, and what was the process behind that, what supplements they took, and what foods did they eat, and so on and so forth. I think that'd be really important. I don't think there's too many people who have truly controlled it or managed their odor, but I know they exist, and it'd be great to have them document what they did to control their odor. So then if anybody else is dealing with the same conditions or symptoms, they know the steps or the supplements to take in order to control their odor. So that, I think that would be really good. Oh yeah, here's another idea I had in my head. So I believe it would be a lot of people want to do meetups because a lot of people are socially isolated and they want to connect with other people, and probably connect with people who are like-minded or have similar conditions. But it's very difficult to have meetups because we don't know where each other are. So I thought it'd be pretty cool to do is to like somehow like record information, have like a live stream where people start mentioning what zip code or city they're located in, and then attach their their email address or some type of thing to be contacted by. So then I'll be able to like place like a dot on a map or something, and then like maybe I'll do that monthly, and maybe accrue so many people all across the world who possibly live in this area. So let's say someone lives in, I don't know, Houston, Texas or some shit like that, and I record this information. Maybe in a next live stream where I do that again, somebody who's also from Houston, Texas would be aware, oh, there's somebody from Houston, Texas who lives in my city. Maybe I should contact them through their email, so on and so forth like that. And another thing, how long is this audio recording? Oh my God, it's almost 10 minutes. I wanted to try to interview people who, like, I think I already said this, but I want to interview people who've possibly got onto online jobs, because I know a lot of people are doing online jobs, and I want. Hello, hello. Okay, it's starting back over. So it just cut off, and I wanted just to resume what I was talking about. So a lot of people go onto online jobs, and there's pros and cons to them. So I would love to invite people on to like online jobs, or invite people on to discuss about certain online jobs, because I know for a fact in my situation, went to a couple of online jobs, and um, the way they presented it, it was, oh yeah, you can make this amount of money and you can work from home and you choose your own hours. But they don't talk really about the cons, like you're competing with so many people, and it's very hard to choose a really good schedule because the hours are gone like that, because everybody, they randomly put out hours in a given day, and you have to constantly check up and choose the hours in order to get a schedule. And if you don't choose an hour, these certain amount of hours, you're not going to be able to work at all during the week. So they don't tell you about that type of stuff. So I would love to get people who experience working for a specific company online to talk about their online experience. I think that'd be pretty good. And just finally, there's other things I have that's in the other category that I wanted to discuss, that I possibly might do, possibly might not, but they're just ideas I had in my head and wanted to write them down and talk about them. So another one I wanted to talk about is like have a story time about certain things that happened in my life. Um, so I wanted to talk about like the time I went to like the mental hospital, or the time I worked at like the fresh market, or the time I did like a lot of other things. Oh, or the time I went to college, and how that was that shit was fucking terrible. I like to talk about that and put some time into that, and I don't know, maybe make it like a 10-minute, 20-minute, 30-minute story of a beginning and end to it. All of it is just terrible, but I wanted to talk about that. Also, I wanted to talk about like products and supplements. I had an idea in my head. A lot of people with this condition are trying so many different supplements and products and stuff like that. So I thought it'd be pretty cool to choose one of these products or choose one of these supplements, and I use those things, and then I'll tell you how successful or how it didn't really help me at all. I think that'd be pretty cool to do. I actually have a couple of products I wanted to review right now. I wanted to review like a sauna that I used, and I returned it, but I wanted to review, and I still have like some footage of it, so I had to eventually review that. And another idea I had in my head was like, create like a comic or a cartoon or something, about certain scenarios that most people with our conditions have to go through. I was gonna do like a top 10 list of things not to do while in college or something like that. I thought that would be pretty fun to do, or a top 10 list of things not to do, or top 10 things you should do to try to survive high school. I think that would be pretty funny to do as well. Another thing I wanted to do was like possibly cooking. I know there's a lot of things I wanted to do more about, like I wanted to do like cooking. I'm probably never going to do this, but I thought it would be such a great idea to try to create like some type of cooking recipe. There's a lot of cooking recipes, but there's not too many recipes that we know that are T-Mouse safe. So I thought it'd be pretty cool to like highlight certain recipes that might be T-Mouse safe, that's not going to make you smell bad or anything like that if you cook those types of recipes. So yeah, those are the things I have in my head. I was going to make this whole thing about talk about my other personal goals, but it's already like 15 minutes, so I'm just gonna end it right here, and yeah, that's pretty much it.